The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by former guest of the show and Matt Landowski and Sweet Hand Sports. Our mission at Sweet Hand Sports is to gear you up for greatness. With our top tier gloves, you are set to grip, win, and dominate. Grip your victory and leave your mark on the game. Sweet Hand Sports brings you batting gloves and now golf gloves that are designed to be durable and breathable. Go to sweethandsports.com, use the promo code BONO10 and save yourself 10%. Grip your victory at Sweet Hand Sports. Once again, sweethandsports.com, promo code BONO10 to save yourself 10%. The Ride Home Rants podcast is also brought to you by Buddy's Beard Care. Buddy's Beard Care provides premium men's grooming product at an affordable price. Products are made in Ohio, and Buddy's Beard Care supports local. The majority of their suppliers are from other Ohio-based companies. You can find them on social media at Buddy's Beard Care or online at buddysbeardcare.com. He has sent me a complimentary bottle of their beard balm. My beard has never felt softer. It has never been more tamed and has never grown faster or looked healthier. I've been using these products for a little while now, and I love every minute of it. Once again, buddysbeardcare.com. Use the promo code Mike Bono and save yourself 15%. Next, we are brought to you by Tactical Brotherhood. The Tactical Brotherhood is a movement to support America. We believe that there is a gap in focus when it comes to companies that support America. We want to be the front lines of supporting Americans and are determined to find something worth being proud of in every aspect of our military, starting with the men and women who serve and protect us. Our mission is simple: to unite like-minded individuals by celebrating what makes each one of us unique Americans. You don't have to be a veteran to join us. You just have to love America. Go to tacticalbrotherhood.com, use the promo code Mike Bono, and save yourself 10%. Once again, the tacticalbrotherhood.com, promo code Mike Bono, save yourself 10%. Next, we are brought to you by Deemed Fit, a clothing company brought to you by first responders for first responders. They are a clothing apparel company that helps those who have worked through the COVID-19 pandemic and also for all the first responders with their mental and physical health. Deemed Fit donates 100% of their net profits from the Never Forget collection sales to the Tunnel of Towers Foundation to support those from 9/11. Once again, go to deemedfit.com. Check out all of their great products. All of them have great messages. They fit and look great. Use the promo code Mike Bono and save yourself 10%. By supporting Deemed Fit through your own purchase, gifts bought for your friends, family, and colleagues, or by becoming one of our brand ambassadors, you become part of the Deemed Fit family. Don't miss out on this great way to help and support everyone who has helped and supported our country. Deemedfit.co, promo code Mike Bono, and save yourself 10%. Next, we have Shankit Golf. Shankit Golf is golf apparel made for the everyday golfer. We're not going to go out and shoot a 6 under par. We're probably going to shoot a 6 over par, but we are going to give you the gear to help you rock it on and off of the course. Our goal here at Shankit Golf is for everyone to have a great time on and off of the course, and we're going to help you look great while doing it. Go to shankitgolf.com, use the promo code Mike Bono, and save yourself 10%. Once again, shankitgolf.com, promo code Mike Bono, and save yourself 10%. Lastly, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Web Western. Web Western is for those who roll up their sleeves and do what it takes to get the job done. The arrow serves as a constant reminder to be a straight shooter, no excuses, no bullshit, just honest hard work. It's a brand that reflects the passion within us to lend a hand when it is needed, fight to protect our God-given rights, and live life like there is no tomorrow. Be a straight shooter. Now, let's start the show. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I have a great guest for us today. He is a 16-year veteran of the head coach of the Baldwin Wallace University up there in Cleveland, and that is Brian Harrison joins the show. Brian, thank you for joining, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. Like I said, you're the coach of the baseball team up there at BW. You and your baseball team just wrapped up a great season with making it to the D3 World Series. Tell us a little bit about your season. How did it go, the trip to the World Series, and what that experience was like for you and your boys.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, we're fortunate. It's 3 out of the last 5 years we've gone to the World Series. The postseason's crazy. Baseball's crazy because not all, the best team doesn't always win, right? I mean, the Guardians can beat the Yankees, and it's about playing with confidence, about who's hot, getting some calls, some bounces your way, and the fact that we've put ourselves in that position the last few years is pretty cool. I don't know if this was our best team talent wise, but man, these guys, but it just seemed to be like our type of kids, right? Tough kids, and proud of the way they competed and the way we finished. And it's just it's what you're training all year to do, right? Is to make the World Series. So hopefully one of these years we can make it to that final round, the final two. But yeah, proud of the way we played this year, man. It was awesome.
Hey, I get it. Watching the excuse me, the D1 NCAA World Series, my Mountaineers were making a run. They didn't really look like they would be the best team, but they had that heart, that grit, and were just raking the ball. They got hot at the right time. But I got to say, when you said the best team doesn't always win, North Carolina, I thought was going to be a sweep in the finals of the World Series, and then ended up losing. You know what I mean? So it all depends on how the ball bounces. Baseball's is a tricky sport for sure. Played a little bit of it growing up, but it's one of those sports that you love to watch, and seeing a team get hot at the end of the year always makes for great baseball, especially around the World Series.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. How about Oklahoma, man? Not even 500 in the SEC, and they were just national champs. I mean, it's nuts and it's crazy. And then West Virginia, brother, man. They West Virginia now. My guy Jimmy Rasinger, he played for me as an assistant over there. I've spent a little bit of time with Steve Sabins, the head coach down there. So I was rooting for those guys. How about the year that they had, man? It's awesome.
What a year! Like I had to do a double take because I mean, wasn't following it much beginning of the year, and I just kept getting notifications on my Bleacher Report. West Virginia wins again. West Virginia wins. West Virginia wins. Then it says West Virginia heading to play for the battle for Oklahoma, and I was like, this can't be right. This got to be a typo. Are they messing with me? My Mountaineers normally are the team. I'm like, yeah, I love them, but they disappoint me every year in every sport. Like I love them to death, but I was like, okay, now I got to start paying attention a little bit more. And watching that was just a blast to get to see those boys do what they did. And there's no hard feelings with that. I mean, you made it to almost the semifinals of the World Series, and it was the first time that program's ever made it there. So that's a winning season for me in my book. And then let's just build for next year. You know what I mean? Get these boys back and see what they can do next year, and maybe make a little bit more of a run and get to the finals. I would love to see it, but
yeah, no doubt. I mean, they'd won 2 games out in Omaha, and the cool thing about, as growing up by the river and the valley there, man, is in West Virginia, there's no pro sports, man. So the Mountaineers are it. They're it. So
that's our pro sports, because people ask me all the time, they're like, you have the weirdest like pro sports teams that you root for. I'm a Buccaneers fan in football. I root for the Red Sox mainly because I hate the Yankees that much. And I mean, obviously, I grew up near Pittsburgh, so I root for all the Pittsburgh pro sports teams. Pirates, Penguins, Steelers, unless they're playing my Buccaneers. People are like, you're just like all over the map when it comes to. I was like, I don't have any pro sports teams. Like, there's no hometown team other than the Mountaineers. Like, people always like, you're always rocking West Virginia gear. Why? I was like, because that's it. And in West Virginia, that's all we got to go off of. And I love everything.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous because you're a free agent fan.
Yeah.
And we got the stinking Browns. Yeah. I mean, we got the Browns, man. So I'm jealous of you, to tell you the truth. Yeah. But this is their year again this year.
I hear that every year, man. From every Browns fan I got, this is our year. I want them to be competitive. You know what I mean? It's tough as somebody who just loves sports in general. It's like you just like, can we get relevant a little bit? Let's be competitive and let's make it interesting there in the AFC North, but that's a tough division there too as well. So yeah, that is what it is. But before we dive into more of your coaching background and baseball experiences and whatnot. What were your thoughts on this baseball season so far? I mean, any teams that are standing out to you, good or bad?
You know what? I'm a Guardians fan. I'm a Guardians fan. Unfortunately, their three best hitters are out right now. I mean, we're
Yeah.
lucky to have Jose Ramirez, man. He took that hometown discount, and what he's done for our city is pretty awesome. And we're lucky. We're lucky, and we're not. We're lucky because the Guardians, man, front office, they do an incredible job. The problem is we just don't spend the money like some of those East Coast teams. But man, they've had a nice little run. They've had a nice run over the last decade or so, and but to be honest with you, it's crazy how it works. All this deferred money in Los Angeles and stuff. I don't know how I don't think you should have deferred money. So I'm a little nervous
Right.
about this lockout that's going to happen. But anyways, I would say that the Blue Jays, if there's a team I'm rooting for, it's the Blue Jays. Mark Shapiro, the president of the Blue Jays, is a friend of mine. So I'm a Jays fan. I guess I'm rooting for those guys. Heartbreak. They were 4 feet away, or they were 3 feet away from winning the World Series last year. But
That
hopefully
was
they can
tough.
put together.
That was
It was.
tough. That was tough last year in the World Series being that close. I would say for me, I mean, and I feel like I say this every year. It's my Pirates. You know what I mean? Like most divisions, we'd be almost leading that division by a lot with how we've been playing this year, and it just proves how tough the NL is. Like it's such a wild card with where the NL is. But we dove into it a little bit on a baseball roundtable with the deferred money and all these teams spending all this money. I think they got to do away with it.
Yeah.
I really do, because then you have these powerhouses like, I mean, to the point where it's like, all right, who are the Dodgers going to play this year in the World Series because they're just spending all this money? I'm hoping the lockout does a little bit of good to even the playing field across the league, giving some of these smaller market teams a chance. I was surprised to see the Pirates spend some money this year. I mean, you got Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler, Mitch Keller. Our starting pitching is just insane right now. And then you add that Connor Griffin in there, and that playing well as a rookie. If we can get him back healthy, I think we can make a good run. I mean, we're a couple games out of the wild card right now before the All-Star break. That's what blows my mind. I don't remember a time in my 37 years on this earth where I could say that about the Pirates.
Yeah.
Where we're close to we're in the hunt for a wild card, and it's before the All-Star break. So, and everyone's getting on schemes like, oh, he's lost his step. It's like, if you look at the stats, I mean, he has it. His strikeouts are up. His ERA is down. I mean, he got beat up in the opener, and that's why it looks the way it does. I mean, his ERA is fallen. He still has the best career ERA right now in 3 seasons, and in the hunt for a Cy Young. So how do you say he's fallen off? Like, I mean, just look at the stats. I mean, yeah, that home opener only going a third of an inning or 2/3 of an inning. Like, yeah, you're going to get beat up every now and again, but I still think the Buccos make a run at the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, man. Donnie Kelly, he's a great dude, and the that ballpark's awesome. That's got to be one of my
most
you
beautiful
love
ballpark.
yeah, the bridge in the background, and it seems like to me, and I don't know, Mike, but it seems to me it's almost like a 4A stadium. It's not as massive as some of these
No.
stadiums. It's almost like not a AAA stadium, but it's just a little bit more homier, and I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, there's not a bad seat in the house at PNC Park. You're not gonna find a bad spot. I mean, and yeah, it's an intimate setting. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to think that Pittsburgh's a small market team in baseball with what they do in that city. But yeah, that backdrop, seeing the city night game all lit up, everyone's there. The entire city's there rooting for them, and they have fireworks every night. It's an amazing experience. If anybody can get out to PNC Park there in Pittsburgh, it's worth the drive to go into that stadium and to just see it. Like everybody that I've talked to has said, like, PNC Park, like you can't beat that anywhere. It's great. It's intimate. You're getting you're right there with the fans. You feel like you're right on top of everybody. And hell, if you're sitting up in the nosebleeds, it's still great seats. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a chance to get a foul ball if you're no matter where you're sitting. You can't beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of my favorite parts.
Absolutely. But now you have been at BW for 16 seasons now. Walk us through your journey prior to BW as a baseball player and then transitioning to a coach.
Oh man. So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Back then, when it was, horse and buggy, the recruiting scene was a heck of a lot different than it is now. I went to three schools, Mike. I was in the portal before it was cool to be in the portal, and got them playing at an NAI school down at Shawnee State on the Ohio River, down in
Yeah.
Portsmouth, and we went to the NAI World Series. It was awesome. Got done playing. I was working downtown, and I was playing actually in the Frontier League. So I was on the roster of the Washington Wild Things their first year.
Yeah.
But I was in the anyways, I was in the Frontier League for a year. My last year, I got traded for like 5 pounds of catfish and a fungal bat, and they got a hell of a lot better deal. So I was with the Wild Things. I got released. I was working downtown Cleveland, wanted to coach, just help volunteer. And so I started at the local junior college, Kyle Community College, as an assistant. So, anyways, after 2 years as an assistant, our head coach took the new job, and they asked me to be the head coach. And I was like, no, I don't want to. Why would I want to do that? And I declined the job. And a week later, I called back and said, hey, if the offer still stands, I'm in. And anyways, next thing I know, I'm a baseball coach, and it was a part-time position at the end at that time. Anyways, I'm still working downtown. After we had success. So after 2 years, I talked my wife, we were newlyweds, into taking the job down at Urbana University. So Mike,
Okay.
Urbana was they were an NEI school turned Division II. So we were west of Columbus. So we were about 45 minutes west of Columbus,
Yeah.
north of Dayton, just by Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, I got the job in late September of 2005 or whatever. And my first year down there, we were 7-43. You want to talk about a long year. We were 6-43, but we won our last game. We walked off. We dogpiled for our seventh win of the season. And the next year, we won 37 games. So it was a great turnaround.
Right.
And the next year, we won again. So now I'm thinking, okay, man, how do I get to Omaha, right? And so my next progression was Division I. I went to the University of Dayton as an assistant coach. I think maybe in 2000 and I can't remember 2008, and I was there for 3 years. It was time to move on, just professionally, and the coaching landscape was a little bit different. The way they structured Division I and all that stuff, but I wanted to go down south of ACC, SEC country. And my wife, who's from Cleveland, she found out this job at little old Baldwin Wallace University was open. And anyway, she 6 miles from where we grew up, and she politely told me to get my butt up there and take a look. And I did, because I was like, hey, I'll go hang out with my dad for a couple of days. It'll be cool.
Right.
And anyways, came up to BW, fell in love with the place. Here I am, 16 years later. So that's kind of my journey.
That's an amazing journey. Wild Things games, talking about that, being a player there and that, I loved Wild Things games. Right out of college, I actually filmed a couple of their games and worked for them for a little bit too as well. So, gotta love them. Fun stadium too as well. And, going back a little bit to our first topic here, but I believe this was the third year in a row for the D3 World Series has been played at East Lake, Ohio, at the Lake County Captain Stadium. For those who aren't familiar with that, that is the single A affiliate of the Guardians. Also, the Ohio State Championship baseball games are held in Akron at the Rubber Duck Stadium each year. Now, Coach, what are your thoughts about these types of games being played at these minor league stadiums?
Yeah, there's different thoughts. For us, first of all, being in Cleveland, we've gone to 3 World Series prior to this. and they were, the first one was in Appleton, Wisconsin. The second one was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And when we were at Cedar Rapids, Iowa, we would play and we would have maybe 70 BW fans in attendance in this huge stadium. So it's kind of a little, sometimes you just don't get the collegiate atmosphere, if you will. So sometimes you want to play at a smaller venue. But I was like, when we heard it's coming to Cleveland, I'm like, hey man, I don't know. It's kind of cool taking a trip, right? You want to go to
Right.
Omaha, or you want to take a trip. So I'm like, I hope we make it, but I don't know if it'll be as special. But to be honest with you, once we made it, it was incredible. We probably had 1,500 people in the stands Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was like an awesome atmosphere. It was electric. So it was an incredible experience. But I think sometimes the venues can be too big for, the attendance, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. I mean, because if you're getting these people from D3 schools, you're not going to get the D1 fans just coming out to these games because it's the World Series. And yeah, there might be a lot of fans there, but in that stadium, it does not look like it is, and it's not going to get that roar that you're used to hearing because the stadium's so big. That's like going back to my days back in high school. It was always played at one stadium, and that was in Wheeling, West Virginia, on Wheeling Island, was the football state championship game. It's a decent sized stadium, but you pack two teams in there from West Virginia that if we put it at a Milan Push Guard, we wouldn't even make a dent. And how many people were there, and you wouldn't get that feel. But there, like it's electric feeling because the stadium's packed because there's that many people there. And you feel that roar, and you get the whole playoff experience. So I get that with a smaller venue, and wanting it to be there because it gives these players that actual feel like hey, this is the national championship, D1. Stadiums are packed, everything like that, even in these bigger stadiums, because you have those fan bases. Like me, being a Mountaineer fan, I don't live there. I almost told my wife, "Hey, we gotta take some time off work, take a trip to Omaha to go watch these boys play, because this is something that we'll never see." You know what I mean? I don't think you get that really at the D3 level.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And so having it a place like a Washington Wild things where it's maybe 4,000 seats, it's a little bit more, a smaller venue. And if you do get 2,000 in a 4,000 seat venue, it seems like it's packed.
Yeah.
And I do, I'm a little bit more of a fan of that. But hey, man, if they put that sucker in wherever, and if we can make it, I'm in. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? I'm in. We just want to make it there. We just want to make it there.
Absolutely. I get that. That's always where everybody wants to end up, regardless of what the stadium size is. It's still going to be electric. Now, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but you are also a proud dad and a husband. I know we were talking a little bit about the craziness of schedules. How do you balance the grind of a baseball season with being a family man and also having time to enjoy that too?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my wife's got to have a hell of a lot of sense of humor. It's, the life of a coach's wife is interesting because, there is no schedule. Plus, the way I am, there's no schedule. So I'm so day to day with everything that we do, and she's incredible. Now, my oldest is 17, so he can drive, and that makes life a hell of a lot easier. So we're 17, so we're going to be a senior, going to be a freshman, and going to be a seventh grader. So it's boy, girl, and it's nuts. So my daughter plays softball and volleyball. My oldest plays football and baseball, and my middle boy is golf, basketball, and baseball. So we're nonstop, man. It's nonstop.
That's year-round stuff.
It is year-round. It is year-round, brother. So the schedule's just a little bit hectic, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And as my kid starts to become a senior in high school, which is nuts, it's starting to kind of culminate here. and I don't want it to come to an end. You know what I mean? So it's the best years.
I get it. I know we were talking, I got my 2 stepgirls that are older, and then my 17-year-old that's going to be a senior this year. He was a football player freshman, sophomore year, and then decided when he turned 16 that he wanted to join the workforce. And as a dad, it's kind of hard to be like, no, you should keep playing football. You know what I mean? You don't see young kids with that attitude, like, hey, I want to go to work. I want to make some money. Like, normally it's all about like, hey, let's do this. And I was like, am I going to miss going Friday nights and watching you play? Absolutely. But am I going to stop you? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So the schedules were crazy, all over games, being a comedian and still having a day job too as well, trying to find that balance of, okay, when are games? Can't have shows when there's these games. As a comedian, I have a little bit more say over my schedule with that, which made life a little easier. But, after I might have a show on a Thursday night where it's 6, 7, 8 hours away, and then driving back all day and then getting back basically in time for kickoff. And it's just like, all right, I've been in a car all day. Now I get to go and sit in the stadiums and watch him play on Friday nights. But I would have changed that for anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, my wife has a great sense of humor. I mean, obviously she married a comedian. But she keeps us together. She keeps this all rolling, and she keeps me, we're like, to the point where we had to have like a joint calendar on our phone so that she could just put stuff in, because if not, she'd be like, hey, you coming here? What? Like I'd have no idea. I'm going 75 different directions at once. But yeah, she keeps us together. And I'm sure, with Coach's wife, it's kind of similar where she kind of keeps everybody in line, sounds like.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt, man. We're our personalities are pretty opposite. Pretty opposite. She's the organized one. I'm the I'd forget I think I forget my birthday last year. You know what I mean? It's just not my, you know what I mean? I'm not organized like that, and not the way my mind works. So thank goodness she keeps us together, man. She makes it happen.
I get it, man. Like with that, like it wasn't my birthday, but I came home from work. I know by the time this airs, it's a little bit dated, but I came home from work Friday, weekend of Father's Day. And I look around the corner and I see something with my name on it. And I was like, what the hell's that? And she was like, I don't know. Open it up and see. And I was like, why am I getting a gift? Like, there's nothing going on. And like, I looked at it and I was like, what's this for? She goes, Father's Day is Sunday. I was like, I had no idea what, like, I had no clue it was a holiday coming up. Bought me a new set of golf clubs and some West Virginia golf balls and all that stuff. So I was like,
Awesome.
I was like, I appreciate it, but I had no clue it was Father's Day. Like that. Thank you, because now I know I need to call my dad on Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for the reminder to let the old man know it's Father's Day. But that's how it is. Like I don't realize. Like she asked what we were doing, if we were doing anything next weekend, and I was like, "What's next weekend?" She goes, "The 4th of July." I was like, "Oh." Yeah, that is coming up, isn't it? Yeah, that's America's birthday. Might want to remember that one. So yeah, if it weren't for her, I'd forget to eat some days probably if it weren't for her.
Well, we got married on the 5th of July, man. That's the only thing that helps me out on the anniversary piece. Is tough to miss that one. Tough to miss that one. But I'm not the dates guy. You know what I mean? People, hey, happy birthday next week, and I'm like, what are you talking? I'm just not the dates guy. That's not me.
No, I get it. Helps me a little bit. We were the 9th of July, my wife and I, with getting married, which also conveniently has helped out. My mother's birthday is the 10th of July. So it helps me remember that too as well. I know that wasn't planned, but it was just a great coincidence that worked out. Oh, man. About getting back to it here for you, if a student athlete is interested in BW in their baseball team, what would you tell them about BW, and what are some of the things they can do to get recruited?
Yeah, I mean, BW is a great place. That's a really, I can go a couple different directions with that. That's a great question. I mean, BW is a great place academically, location, you know, buildings are beautiful, all that stuff. But really, the recruiting piece is it's crazy because again, my kid's going through it right now, right? So most of these guys, you just want to play on the right teams and hopefully be seen. So we're out all the time watching kids play. And then these kids are putting videos up online and sending them to us. But of course we get so many of these videos a day, so it's kind of hard to, separate yourself a little bit. But kids go to showcases, the prep baseball reports showcases. We recruit out of those. We'll recruit kids out of anywhere, but a lot of our kids, to be quite honest with you, come from relationships and guys that we know. So if you coach at Steubenville High School, or it'd be like, hey, who do you have this year? So we take a lot of recommendations. So we get kids from all over, but it's hard as a kid because it's confusing. You just don't know what to do. But I always suggest the kids to play on a good team and go to showcases.
Yeah, I get that. I was also a swimmer in high school, and that's a tough one for recruiting because you're not going to see the recruiters at the meets. They're mainly concerned with times for that.
But
And when I was getting recruited back in the early 2000s, little different than having all these tapes online and all the social media, which helps out a good bit, I'm sure. But yeah, it's tough because I'm sure these colleges are getting thousands upon thousands of like, hey, here's my stuff, take a look. And you're not going to get to all of them. I mean, unfortunately, you're just not going to do it.
yeah, I remember back in the day, man. I don't know if you did this. We used to make the VHS tapes.
Yep.
I used to send I remember sending out like 100 VHS tapes of my skill. They put in the VHS machine. Which is hilarious. To think about nowadays. Now it's just a YouTube one button, but it's the thing about baseball. It's so much different than as you're saying, swimming times. Baseball is beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So one coach may think this guy's good, and another coach thinks he's not good, and who knows who's right in the recruiting process. So it's really hard to evaluate. I think in our sport, it's really hard. So that's why we try to utilize our contacts, because if I know you're not going to send me a kid that stinks, right? So
Right.
it's a little bit of leverage relationships there, a little bit.
Yeah, and like you said, you hit a good point there, in that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like we were talking about with Paul Skeens, and everyone's saying he's down this year, and if you look at the stats, like he's not. You know what I mean? Like, so people were saying, oh, everyone's figuring him out. He's not going to be that good. He's probably going to end up being a bust. He's in the hunt for a Cy Young. And if you look at the stats and everything like that, so. One coach may look at a kid and be like, yeah, he's batting 275, this, that, and the other. That's not what we're looking for. Another coach might be like, he's batting 275. Like, let's go take a look at this kid. You know what I mean? So I get that a ton. I had a bunch of recruiters for swimming in college being like, well, you're swimming a 27.5 in your 50 backstroke. And it's like, okay, world records 25 too. I got to drop 2 seconds, I'm right there on world record pace. What do you mean you're not even going to take a look at, maybe it's just a form thing that we could work out in coaching. Maybe it's a start thing or turn thing, something minor that's just a little tweak, and you got a stud. You know what I mean? Like, and that I feel like that's same thing with baseball. Like, okay, hey, turn your hip just a second more, and I guarantee you're going to hit more home runs. And it's something that quick that I think that could be beneficial. But yeah, I don't envy these recruiters in trying to make these decisions.
Well, then you got, you're right, and you got late bloomers. I mean, Skeens is a great example of that. Out of high school, that he went and played at the Air Force Academy.
Yeah,
is where he played, and then he transferred to LSU. But like Air Force doesn't give scholarships, Plus, not only that, you kind of got to be a cadet. So not a lot of folks want to do that, right? And So he went out there and then he just blossomed into what he is, and then he went to LSU and really took off. But some guy, and who would have thought, Paul Skeens would have been what he is now coming out of high school, because I'm sure Air Force was his only Division I opportunity. So, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You got to have somebody do those small tweaks, and man, now that guy's killing it. He's incredible.
It's just incredible to watch. Absolutely. Turning over a little bit more, getting into that with the MLB. I want to get your opinion on two things as a baseball coach here. First thing is, what is your thoughts on the pitch clock? And second, what are your thoughts about this ghost runner?
Yeah, the pitch clock's awesome. I'm in. I don't know how you feel about it. I tell our players, like, hey man, we're gonna do two things. Let's either win or let's lose fast. I like fast games. I can't pay attention to this stuff, man. Let's go. Let's get the actions. These Dominican kids, I've taken teams over to the Dominican Republic, and when you go over there and play, you'll play a 7-inning game in 3.5, 4 hours. And the game is so boring to me when it's that slow. But to these kids in the Dominican, it's like, hey, this is the best part of their day. They're not in a hurry,
right?
To get these games done. What are they going to go home to? But anyways, man, I think it's enjoyable to watch on TV. I'm a huge fan. I don't know how you feel, but and then the Ghost Runner, I'm out on that. That's like, I don't really understand that one a whole lot. Let's just play some baseball, and then the best team wins. But yeah, those are my opinions. I don't know how you feel.
No, yeah, I'm with you on the pitch clock. I was so upset about the pitch clock when it first started, when it first came out, and they were talking about going to a pitch clock. I'm like, what are we doing? Why do we keep changing things with baseball? But I got to tell you, I'm for it. Especially not being able to get out to as many games, watching the game on TV now, it makes the game more enjoyable to me. It's a faster paced game. You can kind of pay attention a little bit more, get more action out of the game. Adds a whole nother strategy to it because, you got those guys that, they take a swing, miss, go back, they'd fix their gloves six times each hand before they're stepping back into the box and all this other stuff. And then, that cuts down on a lot of that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the pitch clock. I think it adds a whole nother level to the game. This Ghost Runner, get rid of it. I'm with you on that one. Just why are we doing that? What are we playing in the backyard somewhere? Like, our Ghost Runner on first. Like, what are we doing? Because you don't have enough guys to field it, but you just want to play some baseball with your buddies in the backyard. Right. What are we doing? Like, let's play some baseball, and if we're going into extras, and let's let the best team play and win on that one. I agree with you 1,000% on that one. But yeah, I fought the pitch clock. I fought it for a while.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I think it's the right amount of time too. I don't think we adjusted any. I think it's perfect, and let's just roll with it.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I could see maybe tweaking a little bit is maybe in the 9th inning, maybe a little longer, strategy, close games, maybe. But you got to remember too, man, it's like, I coach baseball in Cleveland, Ohio. So we play a lot of our games in like 34-degree temperatures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get this thing moving. You know what I mean? I'm cold.
Yeah.
I'm cold, man.
It's cold in Cleveland in baseball season.
Yeah, let's take that 20 seconds down to 16 and let's go. Let's get home.
Speed it up. We got to get to the heat. We got to get to some warmth.
That's right. That's right, man. Absolutely.
But I got to ask you this because we're getting close to the end of the episode. I ask every Clevelander this because you're originally from Cleveland. You got to tell us some of your favorite Cleveland things to do and to recommend for somebody visiting.
Oh, man, that's a good question. I went down to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the second time. It was cool. If you're into music, that was cool. I think just down there, that Science Center area downtown's awesome. The East 4th District, that's really cool. I don't get downtown very much. I love going to the Guardians games, but we don't do very much touristy stuff, which is kind of crazy, man. So, yeah. So I would just say, if you come into Cleveland, you got to hit. You got to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? It's kind of like a thing to do, and down to the waterfront right there is pretty cool by the Science Center. That's a pretty cool area. But I'm more of a West Side guy, to be quite honest with you. That's where I grew up. So down there, West 25th, the area is pretty cool. There's some, Tremont. There's some really cool areas, man. Usually centered around bars, which is crazy.
Yeah,
so
I get it. I frequented a lot of bars up there in Cleveland, mainly doing shows up that way. A lot of fun things to do. You beat me to it. I normally ask everybody just a quick East or West Side kind of guy, trying to get a little poll, because I keep hearing things about East and West Side, and you got to make a decision on which one it is. And I got to tell you, it is split right down the middle with everybody I've talked to. We can't pick a side of Cleveland, which one is the best side. But Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's great. Been there a couple of times. A huge music fan. Love that for sure. But Brian, we are running down here near the end of the episode. I do need to get this last segment in here before we roll. Otherwise, the wonderful manager of the podcast, Johnny Fitty Falcone, will kill me. And that is the Fast Fitty 5. And that is 5 random questions from the wonderful manager of the podcast, Johnny Fitty Falcone. And Brian, these are rapid fire. You can elaborate if you need to. They have pretty much nothing to do with what we've been talking about for the better part of 45 minutes here now. So if you are ready, we can go ahead and get rolling.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is your favorite flavor of popsicle?
Oh, grape.
Grape. That's a good choice. 2, better invention, the microwave or the dishwasher?
Dishwasher.
Dishwasher. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. That's got to be mine. I barely use my microwave. Dishwasher all day on that one. Question number 3. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Ooh. Elmer Fudd. I loved Elmer Fudd, man. He never shot the rabbit. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's an underrated one for sure. A little Elmer Fudd action.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. It threw me for a loop. I don't know. Oh God, the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner was great. Maybe I'm sped up. I got nervous. Wrong answer. I'm going the Roadrunner.
We're changing back to the Roadrunner. Still a solid choice. Yeah. It's still a solid choice.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the dishwasher, man. I hate washing dishes, so I'm
absolutely.
I'm still yeah.
The worst chore in the world, dishes.
Terrible.
Question number 4, and this is right out of the mind of Fitty. If LeBron James and Ben Roethlisberger box in a 12-round boxing match without any training, who wins?
This hurts my heart to say this, but LeBron wins. He's just too big. He's got to have. He's just too big. Ben's what, 6'4"? LeBron's 6'9".
About 6'5".
I think 6'5". All right, I'm going Roethlisberger. I would want Roethlisberger to win. So yeah, I'm going with Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I got it. I know LeBron's tall, but I think Ben takes that.
He's got to be tougher, right? He's a
Steeler. How many hits did he take in that line running the ball? When we didn't have really a line. I think he's got the toughness factor down with that one. That he can take a hit.
All right, I'm in. You talked me into
one. I got you. And last question here: what is one? Oh wow, Johnny! What is one country that people visit that you have no desire to visit?
Oh man. Gosh darn. Mexico. I got zero interest in going to Mexico. Zero.
That's a solid one. Yeah, Mexico for sure. Yeah. For me on that one.
Yeah, what do you got? Where are you at?
Mexico's a good one. Jamaica. Everyone talks about it. I really don't have a desire to go down there. Yeah, I'd have to stick with that. And Mexico or Jamaica. There's really nothing intriguing for me to head to either of those ones there. But that was the Fast Fitty 5. And yeah, like I said, nothing. He took it a little easy on you, except for that Roethlisberger, LeBron James question there. That was right out of the mind of Johnny Fittipaldi.
Well, thanks, Johnny.
See, these, and he sent these to me today, like 10 minutes before I jumped on here for us to record. I don't get to see these until it's like time to record. Like, and I think sometimes he's like, how can I make the comedian laugh during these? Is what his thought process is. But no, Johnny used to, like, I used to wake up to text messages, and it was these types of questions coming from Johnny. And like these are mild in comparison to what we normally get. And it was like, what if we turn this into a segment on the show? Let's get these out of your head, and let's we'll call it the Fast 55, and it'll be rapid fire. Let's see what happens. And people have loved it, and I gotta say I'm a fan of it too. And I don't get as many text messages in the morning of like, all right, so you locked in the racquetball court with Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor, and Batman. You have a road flare and a boxing glove. Who comes out alive? It's like, what are we doing? It's 5 a.m, Johnny. How are we coming up with these questions, man?
Yeah.
But all right, Brian, like I said, we are running down near the end of the episode here. I give every guest this opportunity at the end of every show. If there's anything you want to get out there, whether it's just good message, anything you have about that's going on with the baseball team at BW, anything like that, I'm going to give you about a minute, and the floor is yours.
Oh, I don't have a whole lot. Nope, just grateful for. I don't have a whole lot, Mike. I'm just grateful for the people that have supported us and made our lives easier. Guys like Johnny and the recruiting, our administration, all that stuff. Man, I don't have a whole. So now I would say if you're a multimillionaire and you want to give us money, I guess maybe I could say that. But try to ask for money. But no, just I don't have a whole lot, man. Just appreciative. It's nice spending some time with you today, and so I appreciate everything.
No, absolutely. I give everyone the opportunity to do what they want to do at the end of every show. And yeah, if there's any multimillionaires listening, BW baseball team, they're making some runs. There's a good team to invest in up there. You won't be a penny wasted up there at BW as long as Brian is at the helm there. And with all that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. I want to again thank my guest, Brian Harrison, for joining the show. I will be following your baseball program up there a little bit more extensively now that you've been on the show. I do it with every guest. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you didn't. That's going to do it for me, and I will see y'all next week. The Ride Home Rants podcast wants to thank you for listening and let everybody know that we do offer monthly subscriptions to help support the show in other ways other than listening and downloading each episode. What you will get with each subscription is you will get bonus episodes that aren't released to everybody. You will also have a chance to ask me anything each and every month where I will put out a special episode just to answer your questions. You will also get more exclusive content that is not released to everybody. To subscribe to the show, go and click on the link in the description of this episode, and I look forward to your added support and to help us keep this show going.